the worldwide authority on cigars. Welcome to Cigar Emperor.
So Travis, can you tell us a little bit about the blends of, well, not the blends, I guess, because it's not really a blend here, but it's more about the wrapper, the leaf. Maybe tell us about each of the profiles of each of the cigars, please.
Yes, the first one we've got is the U.S. Connecticut. The U.S. Connecticut is a Connecticut shade that was brought over from the Dutch, brought it over from Holland during their migration into the U.S. They found the Connecticut River Valley had a lot of nutrients for that tobacco. So they started growing it, and that's how we get our Connecticut Shade and Connecticut Broadleaf today. The Connecticut Shade has a very softness to it. It's very creamy. One of those tobaccos that's fairly palatable for almost anybody. It's just got a nice, smooth texture to it. The next one we've got is the Vintage Cameroon, or the Cameroon wrapper, coming out of Africa. The Cameroon wrapper has some sharp, distinct flavors, but it is a smooth tobacco that is got a lot of real complexity to it, but they find that it's a very brittle wrapper, so it's very hard to work with. And when you smoke that, you got to make sure you're not in a super dry condition. And when you smoke it gingerly. Don't take it to the golf course. That's not the right choice for that. The next one we've got is the Ecuadorian Connecticut. Now, the Ecuadorian Connecticut was based off of the Connecticut shade out of the U.S. They took the seeds to Connecticut, to Ecuador, and they found a nice growing region right off the hill base, and they grow the tobacco out there. And the nice thing about this is they don't have to do shade barns to do shade tobacco. They can let it grow sun-grown style, but there's so much cloud cover it acts as that shade, like the shade barns would use, to block out some of that UV light, giving it that thin texture and a high oil content that we look for in the Connecticut shade wrapper. The next one is the Criollo. The Criollo is coming out of Nicaragua and Honduras, and it's a what they call a substrain. It's a new strain that's been developed for its blue mold resistancy. It's one of the ones that's pretty much used in the market by every manufacturer. We all use a Criollo wrapper of some kind. You may see Criollo 98 and Criollo 99. That's based off the 98, 99 seeds, which were a very good crop growing year. A lot of viral oils coming off the tobacco. So that's the strains we all use, and that's why I chose the Criollos, because it's a very popular leaf. The next one is the Habano. Habano is based off of the Cuban seed with minimal manipulation. We're growing that in a lot of it's grown in Nicaragua, but there is some grown in Honduras, and even a little bit played with in the Dominican Republic. Next is the Sumatra. Sumatra wrapper has some nice sweetness to it without being a Maduro. So that nice sharp flavor, that bold flavor that comes off on a Sumatra is one that we're seeing in the U.S. as being trending. They like those flavor pops that pop out. And then the last one, of course, is the U.S.-grown Connecticut broadleaf. The broadleaf is one of the few tobaccos that's stock cut. Stock cut being they take the top half of the plant off 10 days before the end of the growth cycle. We let the leaves grow in size by about 25% and about 30% in the actual thickness of the leaf. By doing that, the root ball in the ground is still bringing in nutrients for a full 6-foot or 7-foot plant, but when we cut it down to 3.5 feet, we're now forcing all those nutrients to grow in those bottom leaves, giving it a high, real rich nutrient level, giving it a super big oil content and a thick durability or leatherness to it. They refer to as toothiness. With that tobacco, we get a big, rich flavor. A lot of times it's going to be like a chocolate flavor. So that's the wrappers that I've chosen with it, because that's the ones I find in the industry that we use the most.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis. Just want to say thanks, Travis, for explaining all those different wrappers. Really appreciate it. You guys should check it out, and thanks for sharing.
Keep an eye out. You will see this, like I say, after the start of 2020. You're going to see some promotions within your stores. If you happen to see it, we'd love to have you come out and try it and learn a little bit about tobacco and techniques that we use in the factory around tasting and proper tasting techniques that you could learn from that. If you don't have the opportunity to come out and see that, look at some past videos where we talked about the tasting techniques when we were in the factory. You
can learn a lot from Travis. He knows a lot.
So stay tuned. Tell your friends about the channel. We look forward to seeing you. Keep an eye out.
Bye.